This is a brief presentation on the Laurentian Library to supplement the Khan Academy video that we've previously watched. So, the Laurentian Library was designed in 1523 by Michelangelo, who was commissioned by the Medici Pope, Clement VII. Clement was the primary benefactor to Michelangelo, as they met during school together before he ascended to the papacy. Now, this patronage was complicated because the financial situation of the Catholic Church was pretty much bankrupt, and it was a turbulent time politically, primarily from the effects of the Reformation. Oh, hi, Martin Luther. The purpose of this space was to have a permanent location to showcase the Medici wealth seen through their large collection of texts, which had been moving all around, and so the vision for this was to be a specific way for these works to actually be used by scholars while also flaunting this wealth. The construction began in 1525, but Michelangelo had to leave Florence for Rome shortly into the construction process. But he continued holding the reins, dictating to his apprentices, verbally and via courier, the expectations and vision. Though incomplete, the library did open in 1571. The library was a renovation of the pre-existing monastery, which was built in the earlier Renaissance. This image of the outer cloisters for the library shows the monastic influence of quiet and calm, but with the Duomo in the background, this emphasizes that it is not in the outskirts, but in a bustling city itself. So this all came together to influence how to design a cohesive renovation. The Mannerist architecture showcased in the design of this grand vestibule is discussed by the Khan Academy video, and this also was the first instance where stairs are the emphasis of this space. This particular image shows the magnitude of this point in addressing the grand nature of these marble stairs. It's important that it's marble, not wood, because wood is squeaky and distracting to scholars. This shot from above shows how the stairs pour downwards, engulfing in a grand fluid way. The stairs are the dominant purpose of the room, but all throughout you can see the embellishment and architectural sass on Michelangelo's part as he constructs details and adornments in impractical ways, merely just for the aesthetics. This space is dark and cold, a bit foreboding, mostly because of the varying forms of gray, but mostly impacted by the limited and small lofty windows only to the sides of the room. He wanted to add windows. That request was denied, so instead he created architectural facades of where windows would be. Moving up the stairs into the reading room, one is greeted with a warmer feeling achieved from the increase of windows in number and size, but also the use of color and materials. The walls are similar to the vestibule, but they're surrounded with the warm coloring of the ceiling and floors, which mimic the wooden pews neatly lined through the room. The space is elevated, and a design challenge was dealing with the weight of the materials and the needs for the reconstruction to make this a practical and grand space, just to remind scholars in case they forgot Medici wealth. A fascinating design need for this reading room focuses on how texts were used and stored. They existed not on bookshelves to be pulled as needed, but instead chained to these pews. On the sides, there's a list of the texts at each section. Scholars would look at these lists, see what they need to get, and then possibly have to move around to get other texts. So in a way, playing academic musical chairs. This information needs to clearly stand out, but also fit within the artistic design, which I believe is achieved through the darker wood from the pews and the artistic carvings which frame the lighter lists. Now, this is an extremely brief overview of some of the fascinating history and details for this library. And the sources used for the information are seen here as well as under each image. Thank you so much.